Alrighty then, doing another masterful concoction. This one is a concoction for oil enemas or oil colonics, whichever you prefer. In Ayurveda we call it basti. One of the best ways to nourish the bottom half of the body, where all the hormones are coming from, all the nervous system is based on, the start of the circuit, lots of benefits. So here, olive oil, like 4 litres odd. You can get it from the supermarket, $30, $35 roundabout. I've gone for the extra virgin because it's better quality, especially when raw. And of course, in that sort of quantity, it's a bit better value. Because, you know, money is a factor for everybody, right? So the more you can do with the resources you have, you get better value. So there's a whole bunch there. Oh, and the reason I'm going for, well, the intention essentially is creation. So I have been a little bit more creative in the last few days because I've cleaned up reproductive system area and sacral area a little bit more. And it's great. The charm and charisma has come back again. Bonus. But I've yet to create what I want and what I have the potential to do, because if you can think, dream, believe it, you can do it. And that's the creative center is the sacral. So let's get that pumping and clean and clear it out, because once you start to realize what's there, generally unpleasant. For me, I'm noticing a whole bunch of mold, black mold coming out, so I need to deal with that because that's what my body's doing, so I'm working in harmony with it. And so we've also got some castor oil. So an amazing cellular cleanser, long list of benefits. That's going in with a reasonable amount. So this one I am going for a little bit of not just creativity, but also to nourish and nurture and do lots of beautiful things, and then also increases your making love capacity. So hopefully you're lasting longer than 5 or 10 minutes for the guys, and if you got to tantra, well then you might have a clue what you're doing. If not, best to get there. So this is the one. It's a Dr. Shade's Quicksilver Scientific product. The label's been in better condition. A bunch of phospholipids and some adaptogenic liquid herbal blend with acai berry and ashwagandha root and goji berry and a whole bunch of beautiful things. And it is lipid soluble. So that one's definitely going in, because you're going to get a better absorption rate. Alright, we're finishing that one off. Because, you know, if you're doing the colonics with, say, your coffee or your herbal teas or whatever recipe you're doing, then having an option to follow up after that, when you clean and clear everything out, and your maximum receptivity and absorption. So having the lipids or the oils and fats and oils that is beneficial in that area, ready to rock and roll and absorb, is a great position to be in. And so I'm doing lots of things that are lipid soluble or fat soluble, including a little bit of cinnamon for that extra absorption factor. And I like it because it reduces my cravings for sweetness or for silly sweets, rather than instead go for smart sweets instead. Alrighty, so, and this one here is what? If you can read Arabic, you're great. But this one is black seed oil I got from the Ayurvedic store, and so it's Nigella sativa. And it says here, a versatile remedy for so many diseases like blood pressure, nervous tension, diabetes, headache, hypertension, backache, hyperacidity, and all sorts of dandruff and things. So, to keep it simple, it's called a blessing oil. If something's been called a blessing oil, then it must be pretty damn good. And if it's been used for many years for many different disorders and diseases, it's essentially a cure-all for everyone. And if it's good for dandruff, I've got a whole bunch of dry skin going on, so I'm going to have interesting smelling head. and I'll give that a bit of a massage in as well. That's going in for sure. Screw it, we're going the whole lot. Why not? Use what you got. Alright, done. Oh, that's starting to work already. Woo! I'll have to do that again. So yeah, so for me, and especially I'm noticing lots of people as well now we're in winter in Australia, we're used to having nice warm weather here. Subtropical climate and all that, usually, that's not geo-weather engineered. Ooh, have a look at that. And lots of people are dealing with skin diseases and also a whole bunch of lung diseases as well, because man, if you haven't had a look up in the sky, there's a whole lot of chemtrails with all sorts of soft metals going on all over the place. And you know, for people who treat these things and you're seeing them for the first time in abundance when it's never happened before, then you got to start to ask questions, right? Seems simple when you know what's going on. Also, organic turmeric oil, fantastic properties, and because it's essential oil, it's been super potentized. So yeah, there's a bunch of that going in. I've got lots of it, so I'm going to use lots. So antioxidants. I mean, I've been having a whole lot of fire going on in my body as I'm getting rid of stored fungal infections and things and mold and stuff that's been transporting out on previously stuck bile. So all this creates a whole lot of heat in my body, especially in the bottom half. So anything that's going to provide anti-inflammatory benefits, that's nourishing and nurturing like turmeric does, absolute gold. And so I'm also putting in some zinc drops. This would be zinc oxide. So zinc is the main mineral for a reproductive system, for maximum potency, for both the boys and the girls, and also the oxide providing oxygen into the environment that was previously or anaerobic, essentially from the mold that was growing on, taking over that part. So absolutely brilliant idea, that one. We'll get a bunch of that in there. Alright, and I'm also going to put in some of this Raw Forest Foods Aphrodisiac Elixir. So obviously, hey, don't we all want to be better lovers, ideally? Pretty much. Ideally you might as well if you don't. This one's got a whole lot of great things. Oh yeah. Some kava, some pine pollen, some gynostema. Ooh. Okay, that's going in. And that's in a tincture. So that's a bit more alcohol based, but it will also allow better absorption in mucous membrane and different parts using the oils as a transport mechanism. Gets a bit fancy and complicated sometimes, but when you got all the goodies, use them. So this one is one of my absolute favorites. Like, I'll get about a teaspoon. I'll go for a bit more. So this is called N-acetylcysteine, or NAC for short. And you can get it at the health food store. That's a fancy one. And this one has also got NAC, almost about 1,000 milligrams. It's pretty solid for a 1 gram teaspoon, little spoon. And it's also got a superfood blend of beetroot, strawberry, pomegranate, maki berry, mangosteen, raspberry, goji, and a bit of silicate as well. So those things there, if that's readable, especially in the reverse camera, are great for antioxidant potential. That is going to work well because and NAC is the precursors to glutathione. Glutathione is the detox molecule, the one required for your body, especially so if you're vegan, you're screwed. You need to get some NAC. And also, I just had to sneak that in. It's just because the NAC is, and that's going to significantly impact your longevity and your aging rate, because aging is down to built-up toxicity. You'll start to see people who've got lots of lines and wrinkles and things. That's because their nervous system's got tension on different parts of the rest of their circuitry in their body. So we want to sort that out, ideally. So if you want to live longer, you do things like this. This makes sense to me, but hopefully more people will get on board. So this one here This is what we call, oh, some friends of mine and things call it the black stuff. So, shilajit resin. Oh, I could wax lyrical about shilajit, but we haven't got enough time for that. So it's in Ayurveda, it's called Indian Viagra, maximum potency. Absolutely. Oh, the best. I think this part of the story that I like is that how it was discovered. So say you're in the Himalayas, and you're watching the monkeys down at 500 meters elevation, say, and they're monkeying around doing their thing, throwing their shit around. But then you go for a walk, you go for a hike up to the mountains. Oh, that's what black resin looks like. And then these same species of these monkeys, now you go, hang on, they're like twice as strong. They're not throwing their shit around, they're actually conversing and having chats and doing more evolved things. And they're fucking like champions. And living significantly longer, like 30 to 50% longer. And hang on, what's going on here? You're gonna be curious about it. Turns out they lick the shilajit that comes out of the rocks in between the rocks in the Himalayan mountains, and that gives them the potency to do all the things they want. Also very great for bone density, hormonal benefits, hormonal regulation. Huge amount of benefits. This is just one of my faves. And the best part is it increases absorption of everything else you do and transports those nutrients and minerals directly into the cell. Handy. You can see why I put that in, right? So, I just got a sauce or a ketchup bottle. That's shaking around, that's going in. And a 5ml piece of tube. You can go and get it from Bunnings, Home Depot, or your store where you get your hardware things. Also called the adult toy store, or toy store for adults. Which one's that? And this is the easiest way that I've found, easiest and cheapest. So, as you can see, with a bit of management, it fits onto the end of the bottle. Bit of lube on this end, and that bit goes in your sphincter. Yay! Couldn't help myself. So, it requires a little bit of management, but it's easy and it's super cheap. That's what, $5 max. So then there's zero excuses to nourish your bottom and get rid of a lot of the creatures that are there for maximum lovability and making loving potential. Pretty awesome. Great combination there, and good luck with that. That is just outstanding.